Disappearing light. Even after entering the cabin, we couldn't escape from the cold. We were all covered in snow and our coats were sapping. Carrying Uni inside, Yamagi... what was that?
Everyone, please take off your clothes. I'm a pervert now. Yes, sir.
I like how they got the full body as well. It's very cool. Carrying Uni inside, Yamagi laid him on the floor and began removing his clothes. Oh, you can scroll up. Cool.
Everyone take off your clothes. Yeah. You first, Meizumi.
Meizumi clucked her tongue at his words. Yet again, enough with your stupid joke.
Take off your clothes. Do you want to have to chop off your fingers? Do you want to die of hypothermia?
I apparently began to remove my clothes, shoes, gloves, and the many layers of coats I was wearing. The inside of the coats were all damp with sweat. It may have been that what I was wearing had gotten soaked, but taking it off had the opposite effect, making me feel less cold. Hey! Meizumi was bashfully hesitating. It can't be that you're asking us to take all our clothes off, right?
Take off whatever's wet.
I was embarrassed too, but I kept my mouth shut, because it was necessary in our current situation. I covered my body with a blanket and took off my clothes underneath it, but I left my underwear on, of course. It was kind of drafty. I'd feel uneasy if I didn't have any clothes on at all.
Fuyukawa-san, there's some fuel left for the gas burner in the basement storeroom. Could you get it?
What?
I thought there wasn't any fuel left. I stored it away just in case. But there's only enough left to warm one bucket of water at most.
However, there's only one left to warm one bucket of water at a time.
Hurry!
I went down to the basement barefoot. Just remembering it said there was a single container of cassette-type fuel left, placed at the very back of the shelves as if hidden. Finding it, I returned back up. We heated the water with the gas burner. Meizumi desperately held her hands close to the burner. It couldn't compare with the stove in terms of heating. What's this chapter called again? Disappearing light, okay. But having any fire at all right now was very assuring.
Stop it. Don't warm your hands over the fire.
Why not?
You've lost your sense of touch, right? You can't feel any heat, so you could burn yourself.
I dried my body with a towel. The tips of my fingers and toes were pure white. White, I mean, right? My sense of touch has pretty much disappeared and I could only feel a little numbness in them. I even tried massaging them, but the feeling wouldn't return. When the water in the bucket became lukewarm, Yomugi lowered the flame strength. Dipping some towels in the hot water, Yomugi handed one to each of us.
Wrap the towel around your face. Along with your limbs, your ears and nose are highly susceptible to frostbite.
Doing as he told us, I wrapped the towel around my head as if concealing my ears and nose. To an outsider, we probably look pretty silly right now.
Submerge your hands and feet in the bucket. Don't raise the flame, warm your hands slowly to the water.
After looking at each other awkwardly, Meizumi and I both placed our hands and feet in the bucket. The feeling of warmth steadily spread, as if they were being revived. As the bucket wasn't very large, Meizumi and I were sitting in a position where our shoulders met. Our four limbs were bumping into each other inside the narrow bucket. Hey, don't come so close! Even you, if you say that. Hey, don't you feel kind of itchy? Having been warmed up, my hands and feet were gradually becoming itchy. Top of that blisters started to form here and there.
Don't pull them out just because they itch.
Yomugi also placed a warm towel underneath one of Uni's armpits. He then piled on several blankets on top of him. He was able to groan at all. That he was able to groan at all meant that he was still conscious. But even now, Uni's small body was shivering. It was almost like he was convulsing. I could hardly stand to watch. Is Uni gonna be alright?
He had a mild case of hypothermia. His body's still shivering, so he hasn't reached critical condition yet. But he looks like he's in critical condition because he's shivering.
With
hypothermia, the body stops shivering when it becomes serious. If that happens, then you won't be able to do anything with only emergency measures.
Wouldn't it be better to massage him or something like that?
Absolutely not. Someone with hypothermia, a massage would have the opposite effect. If you start massaging him, the blood that's grown cold in his extremities will begin to flow into his heart. If that happens, his core body temperature will lower, and in the worst case, he'll get into shock.
Oh yeah, because doesn't massaging make the blood flow better, and that's why you feel a lot better, because the blood's going a lot more, circulating a lot easier? So yeah, that would be bad. I was truly thankful that Yamagi was here. If he wasn't, we might have ignorantly killed Uni with our own hands. Yamagi-san, thank you. Embarrassed, Yomogi only shrugged his shoulders. It was fate that brought me here, I mean. Fate? Yomogi's eyes looked very gentle as he stared at Uni. This may be a chance given to atone for my sin of not being able to protect my son at the time. By saving this child, I feel like I'll be saved myself. After 30 minutes, the feeling in my hands and feet had completely returned. Yomogi and I took turns warming Uni's hands and feeding the warm water. Uni's complexion became much better as well. As Yomogi had instructed, I was hugging Uni's body rolled up inside a blanket. I thought it was just something they said on TV, but apparently lying with our bodies together was effective in itself. The cold in Uni's body was transmitted to me through the skin. I desperately prayed as I kept holding Uni. Live. You have to live. You can't die. I'll give you as much of my body heat as you want. So live, Uni. That's weird. I don't think we got a choice in that, but yet we only got 80% done. A little bit of happiness. I'm actually interested. Are there secret scenes in every scene depending on choices you've made? The night was long. Far too long. Light broke through the night. So this is the 6th day now. The blizzard outside raged on and on. The demonic screams of the wind rocked the cabin and shook the windows. Whoops. At this point, the only thing that can penetrate the storm is a miracle. Hugging her knees, Maizumi kept shivering and she sat there with a vacant look on her face. The several layers of blankets which she was using to cover herself didn't seem to be helping at all. Weak groans escaped her lips along with the sound of chattering teeth. Yomogi was sitting on his bed, flicking his lighter open and shut continuously. His eyes, now devoid of her flames, stared blankly at the stove. Annoyed by the sound of Yomogi playing with the lighter, Maizumi had been pestering Yomogi in a shaky voice to stop since some time ago. But Yomogi hadn't stopped. He's probably doing it so that he doesn't fall asleep. As long as you can hear the sound, it'll keep you all awake. But if this sound stops, then you'll have to wake me up. The metallic sound was like the last form of resistance from a human whose flame of life was about to be snuffed out by the fury of nature. It was by no means pleasant to the ears, but it was the sound of civilization. It was pleasant. It was absolutely proof that we were still alive. It was a heartbeat. Uni was sleeping in my arms. He had been in a dangerous state of hypothermia, but his body temperature was slowly rising. The heat was returning to his hands and feet as well. According to Yomogi, he was lucky to have survived without losing any fingers. When I heard that, I breathed a huge sigh of relief. Curled up in a bowl, Uni's soft breaths can be heard as he slept on. Even though it was dangerous to sleep while suffering from hypothermia, it'd be even more dangerous to waste his strength at the moment. It should be okay to let him sleep as long as I wake him up about every 30 minutes. Wrapped up in my blanket, I stared at my beloved watch, which had been completely scratched up by now. In this long night, which almost felt like it would last for an eternity, I thought about many things. For example, I opened and flipped through the 20 years of my life like an album. Elementary school, when I wrote a love letter. High school, when I found out a senpai... A senpai? That typo is just hilarious. I'm sorry. It is. I really admired it. Had a girlfriend and cried all night. Damn. Going... Senpai. Not senpai. Senpai. Going drinking with friends in the same class and then going overboard with alcohol, resulting in a terrible hangover the day after. All of them were just simple everyday things. But when I think back on them now, all these stars sparkled brightly like precious jewels. Perhaps dying will make all the memories I had accumulated inside me disappear. Perhaps everything will return to zero. All that will remain is the inorganic record that I was once here, and the pieces of memories I've left in the hearts of those who knew me. That'd be all. I don't want to lose those simple, yet irreplaceable, priceless memories. I don't want to die. I really don't want to die. Besides that, the long night made me ponder many other things. One thing that dominated my thoughts was the situation with Satoru. About what Uni had said in Sphere. You killed him. Satoru killed that man. Uni witnessed it. That was why he was so frightened when he saw me in Satoru's body. I believed in Satoru. Yet things have happened that have made me lose faith in him. I once thought of Satoru as my partner with whom I shared the experiences of this strange personality exchange phenomenon. In a snowy world where no one else can be trusted, he was the only person I could believe in. Yet, he had killed someone. Because I was tossed right back into the blizzard, I haven't had the time to think about it. But now that I have, it's really frightening. Satoru, he killed that man. No, it wasn't Satoru. The murderer simply cannot be Satoru. Because the person who held the blade was Satori, not Satoru. Uni must be mistaken somehow. After struggling with it, that's the final conclusion I came to. But what about the rations? He went and ate all the rations by himself. He ate Uni and Yomogi rations too. I hadn't told him that hard tack was for the three of us, so I was partly at fault. But I never thought that Satoru would secretly eat all the rations without telling me. No way. As far as I could tell from the notes he left, Satoru's a very reasonable person. Even locked up in the shelter cabin, I don't think he's the type of guy who'd eat all the rations on a whim. Maybe he had special reasons. Thinking that he might have left some messages that would serve as a clue, I tried playing the VR. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything unusual recorded on it. Flipping through my head quickly, I flipped back over everything that happened during these 5 days. And I think about it. When Satoru had eaten the rations, back then he had gone outside. That's right, I'm sure that I was outside of the cabin when I transferred back. I don't know exactly why Satoru went outside, but perhaps he had gone out there to do something so that we could all make it back alive. Maybe he had to eat all the rations because of that. What a convenient explanation. If Maizumi heard that, she would probably double over laughing. But I want to believe him. That's why I decided to think of the problem with the rations as possible that couldn't be helped. I believe in Satoru. Then again, what if Uni was the one who ate them and he just blamed us? Even if everyone else in the world loses faith in him, I believe in Satoru, because Satoru is my partner. Despite never being in contact with him, we're very close. It's as if he's my other half. Our relationship is the only thing that's keeping me sane. Ever since arriving at Sphere in the shelter cabin, I've become much more unstable. With nature's wrath at the shelter cabin and the murderous monster at Sphere, no normal person would be able to act like everything else was okay. But thinking back, I realized it's because Satoru was here, because he was so calm that I was able to keep my sanity. Satoru. I wonder if Satoru's okay. I wonder if Satoru's still alive. I want to see him. I want to see him and talk to him. I want to hear his voice. I want to touch his hand. Satoru. My partner. My irreplaceable partner. Uni woke up in my arms. Slowly he opened his eyes. Hey, it's not time yet. You can sleep a bit longer. Uni shook his head. It's okay. I've slept enough. If I slept too much, it'll make me dumb, right? Do you feel okay? Does any part of your body feel strange? I'm okay. I'm full of energy now. Even though he still looked cold, he had a bright smile on his face. Can I stop worrying now? Cocoro, you can sleep now. I'll wake you up. Don't worry, I'm okay. If you can't sleep, how about I sing you a lullaby? Sleep now, fall asleep! What kind of song is that? I smiled slightly. At the same time, I was surprised by the fact that I was even able to smile. It's the first time I've realized that people can still smile even in a situation as dire as this. Man-made miracle. Ah, that's right, I forgot. Throwing off his blanket, Uni jumped to his feet. Hey, Seiji. Yes? Yes? Yomogi slowly raised his head. Uni, shouldn't you be sleeping a little more? Don't worry about me, I'm fine. More importantly, try the phone again. The phone? 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 You mean the satellite phone? That's right. 3 days ago, Yomogi recovered a satellite phone at the scene of the plane crash. If we're able to get through to someone with a satellite phone, we could let them know our location, and a rescue could be requested. According to the newspaper article, no, even if we just ignore the newspaper article, the satellite that the phone needs to work can't operate due to the current effects of the solar winds. Even if the phone connects to the satellite by sheer luck, the chances of getting a proper connection is 1 in 1 million. Even if we were to do it this much in these kind of days, it will take this long. We keep repeating that. I like how they did it in letters this time, not numbers though. They did 11 as in E-L-E-V-E-N instead of 1-1. You could call it a miracle. That kind of miracle has sadly not happened yet. That's what Yomigi's failures have taught us during these 3 days in which he tried to fail it over and over again to make a call from the satellite phone. Uni, it's really a shame that the phone is useless. It won't connect. Why? If you don't try, you'll never know, right? Even if you didn't connect yesterday, even if you didn't connect the day before that, even if it didn't connect just a moment ago, now at this very moment, maybe it might just connect. But just dial it. Wrapped up in a blanket, Maizumi interrupted. Just like Uni said, you won't know until you try. We should try dialing. Yomigi hesitated as he rubbed his chin. I thought about it. Things may certainly be as Uni said. That's what I started to think. At this exact moment the phone may connect, there's still a chance for a miracle. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? If we try right now, it could be our chance, and you want to give up? Article 27, paragraph 1 of the Japanese Constitution. All people shall have the right and the obligation to work. So get moving, you lamb brain! Yomigi didn't move at all. Perhaps his hopes have already crumbled away because of the exhaustion from the past couple of days. Yomigi said the phone. Son, the phone, where's the phone? Fuyukawa-san, are you gonna try? That's right, please tell me where you keep the phone. It's in my bag. I quickly ran over to Yomigi's bag and looked inside. I found the phone right away. What number should I try? 110, no. 119 isn't quite right either. If you want a number to dial, try the mountain rescue team. The number is... I dialed the number Yomigi gave me. Of course, I don't think it will connect. Phone speak was silent. Just a waste of effort. Just like he said, it was useless to try. The moment that thought into my head... This... Yes, this is the Mount Hakuda Distress Response Council's Mountain Rescue Team. Hello, hello, is anyone there? It went through. It went through, Huh? Huh? What do I do? What do I do? I was so shocked that any possible response went through my head. I just stared blankly, not knowing what to say. Give it to me! Yomigi grabbed the phone. Hello, hello! Yomigi yelled into the phone. We're passengers from Hell 18. The plane that went down, it's being reported in the news, right? Whereabouts unknown, so that's what happened, huh? Well, whatever. That's right. The crash site of Hell 18 is on Mount Kocoro in South Hokkaido. We're the ones who made it out of the plane crash alive. There's a total of 4 survivors. Right now, we've sought shelter in the Mount Kocoro emergency shelter cabin. You know what that is, right? My GPS shows 40 degrees, 35 minutes, and 35 seconds latitude. 140 degrees, 55 minutes, and 20 seconds longitude, or altitude, plus 1,298 meters. We've been able to hold out until now, but we're at a limit. Supplies have been depleted. We hope you'll send someone to help us right away. Hello? You listening? Hello? Damn, we got cut off. Yomigi's redialed again. No good, it won't connect. No matter how many times he tried again after that, none of his calls made it through. Will they send help? I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? Hey, did you tell them everything? I tried to tell them everything and they need to know. It's just we got cut off in the middle. Didn't get the chance to hear their reply. The static was really bad, I could barely make out what they were saying. In fact, I'm not even sure what I said made it through to them clearly at all. Exactly who got my message. You mean our location, the fact we're all trapped here, none of it went through? Yeah, I'm not sure it did either. Wait, then think of something, do something! One more time, call him again! It's impossible, Maizumi. The fact that we connected a moment ago was nothing short of a miracle. That miracle isn't going to happen twice. Hand it over! Do it! Lynn grabbed the phone and pressed the redial button. You'll go through it, it's no it will. If it doesn't, then it'll be a really big problem. And you got a big problem. Please go through, come on, what's wrong? Get through, please, 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 because... With the phone still in her hand, Maizumi eventually collapsed to her knees with tears in her eyes. Ew. Maizumi-san. I laid a supporting hand on her shoulder. Her shoulders were quivering. Pray. All that's left to do is pray. And believe that our message got through properly. They're coming to help us for sure. Believe in that. Even though Yomigi's words were hopeful and inspiring, they did nothing to comfort Maizumi. Putting down the phone, she stumbled slowly towards the bed. Wrapping herself in her blanket, she went completely silent. No, she was muttering something repeatedly under her breath.
If things kept going like this, she may just lose her mind. Getting more and more worried about her, I moved closer beside her. Revealed feelings.
This time we won't make it. We'll all die, just like the newspaper article said. Just what are we doing anyway?
This time?
Death makes people go crazy, makes people struggle, destroys the bonds between them, and yet we still try to live on. What a joke.
Maizumi muttered into her blankets. She had pretty much given up. Her eyes were hollow, staring at nothing in particular. I couldn't leave her alone in that state. I sat down in front of her.
Maizumi-san,
I said softly. I don't know whether Maizumi had heard me and decided to ignore me, or if my words hadn't reached her, but she didn't respond and instead continued talking to herself.
It was such a disappointing life. A boring life, don't you think? No, wait. Except for back then. Back then we were shining. Joy surrounded every aspect of the living us.
We? Ow? Could she be talking about...
Satoru. I'm not sure when it started, but Maizumi was now in tears. Satoru, help me, save me.
Maizumi took hold of my arm. She looked into my eyes, but her stare was distant, as if she was looking at something far away.
Satoru. I want to see Satoru again. Just one more time, I want to see you. Please, come and see me. Even if it's someone pretending to be him, I don't care even then. I want him to say that he's coming to help me, that he will protect me.
I really want Satoru to still appear now.
Why? Why won't you come? Do you hate me now? Because I left your side? Because I abandoned you?
The person she's looking at isn't me. It's Satoru, she's saying. Begging him, pleading with him. But I couldn't help it. I couldn't go against my parents. No, that's just an excuse. I was just taking the easy way out. And out of my selfishness, I betrayed you.
That's why I want to apologize. I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry. That's why. Come and see me. Come and help me. Please.
Her hands gripped my arm even more tightly. Her fingers dug into my skin.
Satoru.
The person she's asking for is Satoru. What she needs right now is not my concentration, but Satoru's words. If that's the case, I should try to remember Satoru's words from the messages he had left behind in the VR. Try to remember the way that he talked. Then... Lynn.
Lynn? Eh?
Lynn, it's me.
Satoru?
Yeah. I nodded.
That's right.
Before all the words had left my mouth, Maizumi was already hugging me.
Satoru!
She held me tight with all her strength. And I feel like this game is turning Maizumi into like a very bad character. That this moment is just not really heartwarming for me. She held me tight with all her strength, her arms wrapped around me. Tighter and tighter. The strength and intensity represented the strong feelings Maizumi had for me.
Satoru, I've all wanted to see you. I tried to live, I tried to survive for just a little longer, only so I could see you again. I'd do anything just to see you again. Cruel things, unreasonable things, hateful things, I'd do anything. I don't care what anyone else thinks, because the only thing left in the world is for me is you. Satoru.
I stroked Maizumi's back gently as she continued mumbling into my chest. She felt so fragile, like a child, like someone so very young. Her body quivered. Lynn. Somehow an incredible feeling enveloped me. It felt as if I've really become Satoru. As if I've really become someone close to her. I wanted to protect her. I wanted to save her. I also wanted to kill her because she's been a dick and ate the chocolate. The feeling spread through me.
Hey Satoru, do you remember? When I asked you what would you do if I suddenly disappeared from this world?
Yeah. I remember. Of course I don't know a thing about that, but I just tried to imagine that something like that did happen between the two of them.
Back then you told me I would search for the world where you were, and then even if you couldn't find the world, you said I'd keep on searching until I found it. You weren't lying when you said that, right? You'd keep searching for me if I disappeared, and one day you'd come find me and we'd be together again.
Of course.
Isn't it obvious?
I stroked her hair gently.
I'm so glad.
Her body stopped shaking.
And then you asked me the same thing. If I suddenly disappeared from the world, what should you do? I said once 6 years had passed, 6 months, I'd forget all about you.
What?
But I couldn't forget you. Losing you was so painful, so agonizing. I felt an unbearable sadness inside of me each and every day. Well, so lonely. I just pretended to be strong. I'm such a horrible person. That's not true.
Wait, what? That's not true.
Lin,
that's what makes you who you are.
Satoru, please don't go anywhere. Don't disappear. I don't want to be alone. Stay with me forever. Don't ever leave me. Please, please.
Maizumi held me tighter and tighter.
Lin, it's okay. It's alright. I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay by your side forever. No matter what, I'll always be with you, Lin. Satoru.
Then we talked about all the memories she had of being with Satoru. We talked on and on endlessly about sweet and happy memories, innocent and delightful memories, pleasant memories that made us both smile, and painful memories that tugged at our heartstrings, petty problems that made funny stories now. There was the history Satoru and Maizumi had created together. Stories that they had woven together, like a spring gushing forth and Maizumi spoke. I remained silent and listened. I listened on to Satoru, not myself. I was Satoru in these moments alone with her. I watched Maizumi. It was there in one of her white, small, well-shaped ears. A simple earring. Could this be a present from Satoru? Satoru? I slowly reached out and touched the earring.
Huh?
Maizumi gave a small jump.
Sorry. No, it's okay. Satoru, you like touching my ear in that earring. Though you know my ears are sensitive. You did say that you could watch my reactions. Naughty, naughty.
I hope I'm not turning red. I'm Satoru, so I can't let this faze me. Self-control, self-control. God damn it.
Good with that. Should be alright. Although I guess I was childish as well. Always playing around with you. Surprising.
The usual resolute, strong-willed Maizumi definitely doesn't seem like a woman that would flirt with a man. So she changes in front of the man with love. No, that's not it. It could be that her everyday personality is just a mask she created for herself, and this is a return to her personality.
Don't you think that was fun?
What do you mean by that?
What does she mean by that? I mean that. Didn't we talk about that yesterday?
Yesterday?
There's no way you already forgot about that.
What exactly is she talking about? I have the slightest idea.
Did you by any chance forget? You didn't, right?
This is bad. I have absolutely no idea what she's referring to. I'll find out. What do I do?
Come on, it's that. Round and round.
Round and round?
Yeah, round and round.
Oh, right, that. Yes, I remember. Round and round.
Is that it? That lovers often do?
Now it's sheer desperation. I'll just go along with whatever she says.
Yes, that's it. Round and round on the beach.
Somehow this kind of scene came to mind. Satoru is on the axis, he held onto Maizumi and swung her around and around as she clung onto him. Like one of those rides in the amusement park, that must be it. Using this mental picture as a reference, I spoke tentatively, since it was something I would never imagine Maizumi doing.
On the beach at evening, round and round. It was so much fun. But Satoru, you didn't seem like you were having fun at all. I was the only one in high spirits.
That's right.
I didn't understand what you thought was so funny about it. I didn't get it at all.
Although I said that, I fully understood Maizumi's feelings. Holding onto her boyfriend round and round, lovers playing with a beautiful night view behind them. A world, a space, a time for just the two of them. I couldn't understand it well. No, wait, I'm envious. That was very romantic. After Maizumi laughed, she drew away from me.
We talked a lot. I'm a little tired now. I'll lay down for a bit.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Lying down, she drew the blankets over her head. I caressed her back softly and stood up. It looks like she somehow regained her composure. I think she'll be alright now.
Thank you.
Beneath the blankets, Maizumi softly said that.
Fuyukawa-san.
Oh! She saw right through me! Despite my good deed,
I felt just slightly dejected as I thought I'd put on a convincing act. But I felt thankful to Maizumi, who went along with that, that me. I felt like I'd gotten a bit closer to her, even if I only a little. And I was glad she had cheered up. I felt that way from the bottom of my heart. Leaving Maizumi, I went towards Uni. Uni was squirming under the blankets. What are you doing?
I was thinking of listening to this for a while.
I noticed he was having a radio in his hand. Angel descending into darkness. Didn't you say the radio was broken? It had just gotten wet before. I opened the cover and let it dry out. Didn't it break because it got wet?
Oh, don't you know, Cocoro? There's a way of fixing electronic appliances after they get wet.
Really? Or fitting with the radio's dial, Uni said.
If you dry them properly, as long as they're not short circuits, they'll be fine.
The speaker picked up some static.
See?
Uni tried to tune it, but...
Oh, that's weird. Can't hear anything.
As I thought, because it got wet.
Oh, is that it?
Uni pointed at a red light near the upper part of the radio.
Look, the diode is broken.
The bulb broke?
A diode and a light bulb are two different things. A diode doesn't break like a light bulb. It might be a cut wire inside the diode, that's the problem.
In any case, Uni was quite calm and collected. You could only feel hopeless, anxious, and insecure about whether help was on its way or not. Even Maizumi is moping around. Yumogi hasn't said a word since that incident either. I guess he has his own troubles to deal with as well. Is Uni just pretending to be strong? No, wait. As he tries to fix the radio, he's trying to listen in news from the outside world, to see if the media is reporting anything about us. Of course, Uni's uneasy as well. I nodded my head in agreement with the conclusion that I had come to. As he tamped with the radio, Uni's frown grew deeper. Did he get hit by something before? The radio was covered with weird scratches. There was a crack in the front wall as well. Front wall? Well, the front of it. I recognized that radio, but from where? That's right, the day before yesterday. During my fight with Satoru, I'd thrown the first thing that had come to hand, a radio at her. I made a decision in the spur of the incident. Is that when it was damaged? Wait a moment. Why is the radio here cracked just like the one in Sphere? Not only that, there's a charm too. The charm he received from Itsumi in Sphere. The Uni on the shelter cabin had it as well. Additionally, curved Uni's bangs upwards. What's wrong? As Uni stared blankly at me, I could see an old wound on Uni's forehead. Isn't this the injury that Satoru gave him the other day? It's all healed now, what does that mean? Where is this Uni from? Hey Uni. I mustered up the courage and asked the question I've been wanting to ask all this time. Chose my words carefully and started to talk about this radio in the wound. Meanwhile, Uni stayed quiet. With a strangely mature face that didn't suit his age, he looked at me. While keeping my voice low so that neither Yamagi or Maizumi could hear, I explained what I experienced. Then, strengthening my resolve, I asked him, Uni, have you ever been to Sphere? Did you come from the future? But if you think about it, it makes sense. See, the newspaper with the article about our deaths. You said that it was real, right? Uni, you knew that we would die like in the article. Is that why you said it? No, wait, perhaps you brought the newspaper here yourself. Losing my patience, I grabbed Uni, who had been silent all this time, by his shoulders. I raised my voice as I continued. Please say something. Please, Uni, what's going to happen to us? Something fell lightly from his breast pocket. Something white, soft like down. I picked it up. It was the feather, isn't it? This is... Yeah, the feather. The feather of a white goose that was stuck in my hair that day, the day I first met Uni. The angel's feather. Because those simple words would have been so incredibly romantic. My confusion has reached its limits. The charm, the cracked radio, the cut on the forehead, and yes, the angel's feather. Yes, memento. So that I don't ever forget that I met Cocoro. I looked into Uni's eyes. His eyes were hollow. I don't know what he was looking at. Perhaps he wasn't looking at anything. Uni, you...
Who are you?
You... Who are you? Who are you? All of a sudden, Yumogi raised his face, surprised at my abruptly loud voice.
Oh, what's wrong?
At that instant... Ah! Uni let out a strange scream, jumped out of the bed, and broke into a run. He opened the door before I could stop him. No! Cold air rushed into the room. There was a roaring blizzard outside. Uni flew out into the raging storm. Uni! I chased after him in a panic. Uni was standing in front of the shelter cabin. The driving snow striking his face, he stood there looking up at the sky. What's wrong, Uni? He didn't answer. Hey, Uni! While shielding my face from the whirling snow, I called out to him again. What happened? Did my question cause this? Was it traumatic to him? I won't ask anymore, so please come back inside. Hearing my desperate appeal, Uni slowly turned his head towards me. In the furious storm, Uni smiled. Kagome, Kagome, bird within the cage. When, oh when will you come out in the evening lit by the dawn? The crane and the turtle slipped and fell. Who's that behind you? He was swallowed by the raging storm. What are you doing? Yomogi rushed outside and caught Uni, who was still standing in front of the cabin. You want to get hypothermia again? Yomogi grabbed Uni and returned to the cabin with him. Shut the door, I'd practically throw my whole body's weight against it. What happened? What happened? I don't know, all of a sudden he went flying out. Uni had his eyes closed. Had he lost consciousness? When you suffer from hypothermia, you can hallucinate, grow restless, and an outburst might have been from those symptoms. Yomogi laid the back of his hand against Uni's cheek. He touched his neck and the area around his armpit. Luckily, his temperature didn't drop that much. Yomogi gently laid Uni on the bed, a pained expression contorting on his face. He shrugged his shoulders. I'm sorry. Will you warn him like you did before? Alright. Not warm, sorry. Yeah, warn him! Uni, you fucker! I embraced the senseless Uni and wrapped us up in the blankets. The limbs that we had, painstakingly warmed up earlier, were all once again cold like ice. The ice axe? You're kidding. What the fuck? Meanwhile, Yomogi presented us with his own blankets, as he said. If you're sleepy, you should rest too, Fuyukawa-san. But it's cloudy, but the sun has more or less risen. The temperature will rise a little. While it's daytime, we should try to regain our strength. Yomogi-san? Yomogi pointed to the wristwatch. Please change places with me in a little while. Then please wake me up. Yomogi looked up at Meizumi's bed. At some point she had fallen asleep. We could hear her weak breathing. Yomogi touched the nape of her neck. Is he checking her heart rate? He also placed his hand in front of her mouth to confirm that she was breathing. Let's let Meizumi rest a little too. She seemed to be exhausted. Yomogi reached out and started to rummage around Meizumi's bed. He was probably fixing her blankets. Then he returned to my bedside. Sleep, and I will come again. Until then. I held Uni tight and closed my eyes. Is this Uni really the Uni from the future? I wanted to know, but he had run away. I can't ask him anymore. I don't want to burn him in further. With my eyes closed, I buried my face in Uni's hair. What is the truth? That newspaper isn't real. Can we stay alive? Lots of problems swept through my mind. But before long I fell asleep. Like that of a newborn baby, a deep, deep sleep.